Assassin's Creed Valhalla: The Siege of Paris. It's surprisingly good, if you know what to expect. Takes place in Paris, it's the second DLC we have for this game. You get to take part of the Siege of Paris, and there's a lot to talk about with this DLC, and I want to start first of all with the cities and the vibe of the DLC, because at the end of the day, that's the most important part of it. And I just want to say that the cities and the locations in this DLC are really well designed. I made a whole video about it, it's that well designed that I made a video talking about the design of it and why I love the design of this DLC. But the main problem with it is that there is nothing to do in these cities. But if you're not into doing open world, grindy stuff, then you're not gonna have a problem with that. Me personally, I would like to do stuff in these cities to explore them more. But if you're okay with not exploring too much, then you can just enjoy the visuals. And believe me, visuals in this DLC are amazing. The cities in Paris are one of the best cities in the whole game, if not in the whole series. I really love running along the rooftops in these cities, and it all looks really good. And surprisingly, there is plenty of them. I expected only Paris to be the one city in the DLC, but it's not the case. There are more little towns along the way that you get to see, and they're not that small, they're not camps, they're actual towns with people and life. And they all look really great, and I love every detail about them. But sadly, all of these beautiful locations and visuals do come at a price. The whole performance side of this DLC is horrible. If you're in the open world with no cities in sight, it's fine, it's 60 FPS on PlayStation 5, but as soon as you get into the cities, there's crazy screen tearing, slowdowns. Look at the footage I'm showing right now. This is not me slowing down the footage, this is how it was while I was taking part of the siege. It's really bad performance-wise. I mean, at least it looks good, right? So it's not all bad, but yeah, the performance could be better, and it should be better, honestly. But that's only one of the bad things in the DLC. The other thing that I didn't like so much is that there is nothing new to do. There are black box assassination missions, which basically mean that you have a specific target and you get multiple ways to kill them, just like it is in Hitman, for example. And I did enjoy those missions, but there's only a limited amount of them since it's DLC, and other than those missions, there are no new gameplay elements. You just get more skills, which are fun to use, more armor, more weapons, which again, all fun to use, but nothing new, nothing mind-blowing. You get a scythe, which is a new weapon type, but it's not as satisfying to use as other weapon types, at least in my opinion. So there's really not that much new gameplay-wise. Enemy-wise, there's one new enemy type, that's a cavalry rider on a horse, who is fun to fight, but again, they're limited, their moveset isn't that new or that mind-blowing. So gameplay-wise, you're gonna be doing the same thing you've been doing for the past 100 hours in the main game and the first DLC. But you know how that is, if you had no problem with it in the main game, then you're not gonna have a problem with it here. So personally, myself, I did enjoy the gameplay in the DLC. It got boring after a while with the main game, so I came into the DLC expecting this, and it wasn't disappointing because it is what I was expecting. So basically, gameplay wise, same as the main game, so just calculate your expectations and you won't be disappointed. But there is one single thing that I really hated about the gameplay in this DLC, and it's the difficulty. I play on the maximum difficulty in this game, the max nightmare difficulty, and I died only twice in this DLC. Once because I fell from a high place, and the second time during a boss fight. I play on the hardest difficulty, and I only died twice in this whole like 15-hour campaign. So I think the difficulty is really not balanced that great, and just the whole gameplay of Valhalla is way too easy, and I really think that's the main problem with it. I talked about this in my Valhalla video, but I'm gonna mention it here as well. The main problem with Valhalla, other than the open world design, is just how easy it is. At least if there was a danger of dying, I would be more invested in making my character, building him, making new skills, work together and stuff. But since it's too easy, I played the whole DLC on the highest difficulty with barely upgraded weapons and armor, and I had no problem. I died twice, like I said, and one of those twice is my fault. So basically I only died once. Difficulty wise, it's disappointing, but what can you do? That's Valhalla. So we talked about gameplay and other stuff that are connected to it. Let's talk about the story for a bit. Don't worry, there are no spoilers, but I just wanted to say that the story is actually pretty good. It gets better after the Siege of Paris, which was surprising because honestly I felt like this is the big finale. We're taking over Paris, people are dying, so like this is it. But after the siege finishes and people deal with it, that's when the story gets interesting, at least in my opinion. And there's like 1 or 2 hours worth of stuff to do after the siege, and that's by far the best part of the story. It takes a really darker turn, which I found really interesting, and I really wanted to learn more about it, and the characters really started to hit home after the siege. So, story wise, it gets going after the big event, and leading up to the big event, it's also interesting, but it's not that mind blowing. It feels like any other story in Valhalla. Until the siege happens, it takes a turn and it becomes like 10 times better. So, basically, the long and short of it is the story is fine. I did like it, I did like the characters, I like the conclusion, and it's a really good story that will keep you going through till the end. So, if you are here for the story, it's fine, but don't expect any assassins because they are not here. Although this was the perfect opportunity for it. I mean, with the city roofs of Paris, with the crowded streets, it would have been literally perfect for Assassin's Creed, but sadly, we're in the Viking fantasy, so if you're here for assassins, do not expect assassins because they are not in this DLC. There's one bureau that you can go to, but other than that, not really any assassin stuff. Speaking of the bureau, there are returning activities from the main game. Like I said, there's one hidden ones bureau, there's multiple raid locations, there's tattoos to chase, there's all the kind of activities that you do expect from Valhalla. They are in this DLC. The one new activity type is these rebel mission things, which are very similar to the royal demands that were in the druids DLC. So if you like repeatable missions that don't have much variety to them, this is fine for you. But again, my problem with it is that it's too easy. I would be playing this all day if it was just a little harder, if it challenged me a little, if it made me build a strong character. But as of right now, enemies are just too easy, so repeating it feels repetitive because you're just slashing through everyone like they're butter. So that is a problem. But if you don't mind repetitive story missions that you keep going over and over again to make money and buy new clothes and stuff, then this is fine for you, you're gonna like it. So basically you do get a lot for your money with this DLC. I bought it during the days of play, which if you watch the video when it releases, it's still going, so you can buy it for half price, and I got plenty for my money. I really think it's worth it if you buy it at half price, maybe so not so much if you buy it at full price, but if you are a fan of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it is a good purchase, because it adds a lot to the game, and it just adds more of what you already love. Good weapons, good armor, new story, and by the way, Charles is a really great villain, so I do like him. I think it started really weird, he was really cringy in the first mission or two, but then he became more and more intimidating, so I really think he's a very good villain by the end of the story. Point is, it's a fine DLC, it's more Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If that's what you like, this is gonna be good for you. If not, then, well, it's not gonna bring anything revolutionary to the game. Believe me on that. But for me personally, I did enjoy Valhalla, I do like the game. It's not my favorite Assassin's Creed game, but I think it's fine DLC, and I did enjoy my time with it, and I'm planning to buy the new, like, Ragnarok DLC and talk about that a little bit. If you're interested in it, be sure to let me know, because I'm gonna be playing it soon. But hey, on the bright side, if you don't like this DLC or the idea of it, at least you don't have to wait so long. Mirage is coming soon. We're getting a new gameplay trailer, in-depth looks, so if you're interested in that game, it's only a couple months away, you don't need to worry because Valhalla is long gone by now. I know I'm making content about it like 4 years after release or something, but I enjoy it, and I cannot wait for Mirage. I'm gonna be making a shitload of videos about that game, so if you're interested in all things Assassin's Creed, be sure to stick to the channel, because that's kind of my thing. If you did enjoy this video, there's one on your screen right now that I think you're gonna enjoy. And other than that, let me know what you think. What's your opinion? Did you play the DLC? Did you not? And have a nice day.